6 minutes to midnight. The last time the doomsday clock displayed 6 minutes was in 1988 as the Cold War ended. Yet, the nuclear threat exists to this day. The superpowers of the world possess weapons while other nations are working towards their development. Since the inception of its nuclear program, the United States alone officially held 1,054 nuclear tests to date.
So, what can we do about the nuclear threat? The Youth Peace Committee of the SGI-USA works towards world peace, a world free of nuclear weapons. The Youth Peace Committee's aim is to learn and share the peace philosophy of SGI President Daisaku Ikeda, to work proactively towards peace and to engage the youth in fighting for peace and justice. The youth are the future, but to be free of the nuclear threat, we must work now.
Soka President Daisaku Ikeda met his mentor, second Soka President Josei Toda, in 1947, when Ikeda was 19 years old. Toda held fast to his beliefs through 2 years in prison, arrested for his resistance to the Japanese militarist government during World War II, emerging after the war to spearhead a people's movement for peace. As early as October 1949, Toda warned, if an atomic war were to occur, the only path facing the peoples of the world would be one of total destruction. This was immediately after the Soviet Union had announced that it had tested its first nuclear weapon, following in the footsteps of the United States.
Based in part on his 1972-73 dialogues with British historian Arnold J. Toynbee, Ikeda would like to urge the leaders of all states dependent on nuclear weapons to ask themselves the following questions. Are nuclear weapons really necessary? Why do we need to keep them? What justifies our own stockpiles of nuclear weapons when we make an issue out of other states' possession of them? Does humanity really have no choice but to live under the threat of nuclear weapons? Josei Toda's deepest determination is perhaps expressed most fully in his statement,
I wish to see the word misery no longer used to describe the world, any country, any individual.
Toda stressed the need to eliminate situations of misery and suffering equally from all levels, the personal, the national, and the global, as conditions of peace. Among numerous grassroots efforts for peace and nuclear abolition, detailed on page 6 of Ikeda's Nuclear Abolition Proposal of 2009, Daisaku Ikeda has set forth a detailed, practical 5-step plan toward a world free from the threat of nuclear weapons. This plan includes what ordinary citizens of the world can do, as well as the national and international levels.
Toda concluded his declaration against nuclear weapons with these words, I ask those who consider themselves to be my students and disciples to be heirs to the spirit of the declaration I have made today, and to make its meaning known throughout the entire world. His student and disciple, Soka President Daisaku Ikeda responds, These words, which were burned into my mind that day, have remained with me and have inspired my actions in the more than half-century that has passed since then. I have never for even a single day forgotten his stirring call to action and have worked tirelessly to create a rising tide of public opinion in favor of nuclear abolition.
Toda and Ikeda both emphasize the importance of ordinary people's power. What are we, as the organization of SGI, doing to raise awareness of nuclear disarmament?
Organizers have been holding exhibitions like this for 35 years now. But it isn't just preserving history that they have in mind. SGI President Daisaku Ikeda is calling for a nuclear weapons abolition summit for 2015 here in Hiroshima.
In addition, there are a number of grassroots actions headed by the SGI. A DVD of women's testimonies from Hiroshima and Nagasaki was released by Soka Women's Peace Committee in 2005, and there is also a traveling exhibition named From the Culture of Violence to Culture of Peace, Transforming the Human Spirit, being shown all over the world. The SGI also holds a series of peace lectures to raise awareness and emphasizes that nuclear weapons are not necessary in the world at all. In 2007, commemorating the 50th anniversary of Josei Toda's declaration calling for the abolition of nuclear weapons, a civil society peace forum was launched in New York City. These are only a few of the many actions SGI is taking in order to rid the world of nuclear weapons.
And we, each of us, have a significant role to play.
Disrespect.
Evil.
Pain.
Explosions.
Hell. Misery.
Fear. Suffering. People suffer.
Death.
Yes, definitely. We can abolish the nuclear weapon because human developed the nuclear weapon. So the only human being can abolish the nuclear weapon. So that is the I think use the mission to the next generation.
It was that attitude that the ends justifies the means, and that's certainly never true. So I think through eliminating that thought, it can totally be done.
New times, you need to start thinking in new ways, and the only way we're going to be able to face nuclear weapons and look at them as something that threatens humanity's existence, the 21st century calls for us to really evaluate and look at, can we exist without these? And I think that if we really look at it, we find that we can.
My dream for world peace is for everybody to kind of realize that, through their own human revolution, that peace is not an unobtainable thing, that war is not something that has to happen. It's not a natural thing, that as long as we realize our own potential and our mission for Kosamufu, or rather world peace, that it is a possibility.
Peace is a competition between despair and hope, between disempowerment and committed persistence. To the degree that powerlessness takes root in people's consciousness, there is a greater tendency to resort to force. Powerlessness breeds violence. But it was human beings that gave birth to these instruments of hellish destruction. It cannot be beyond the power of human wisdom to eliminate them. Daisaku Ikeda.